Shabbat Shalom. Our scripture reading for today is Psalm chapter 48, verses 1 through 3, 11, and 12. Great is Yahweh, and greatly to be praised in the city of our Elohim, in the mountains of his holiness, beautiful for situation. The joy of the whole earth is Mount Zion, on the sides of the north, the city of the great king. Elohim is known in her palaces for a refuge. Let Mount Zion rejoice. Let the daughters of Yehuda be glad because of your judgment. Walk about Zion and go round about her. Tell the towers thereof.
Shabbat Shalom, family. Our selection, Marching to Zion.
We're marching up to Zion, that beautiful city of Yah. We're marching up to Zion, that beautiful city of Yah. We're marching up to Zion, that beautiful city of Yah. We're marching up to Zion, that beautiful city of Yah.
Come ye that love Yah, and let your joys be known. Join in a song with sweet accord. Join in a song with sweet accord, and thus surround the throne. Oh, and thus surround the throne. Oh, and we're marching.
We're marching up to Zion,
Zion,
that beautiful city of
that
Yah.
city of Yah.
We're marching up to Zion,
Oh, yeah.
that beautiful city of Yah.
Those who refuse to sing, who never knew our Yah, but children of the heavenly King, but children of the heavenly King may speak their joys abroad. Oh, may speak their joys abroad. Oh, we're
Marching up to Zion, that beautiful city of Yah. We're marching up to Zion, that beautiful city of Yah.
The hills of Zion yield 1,000 sacred sweets. And when we reach Zion's fields, and when we reach Zion's fields, we'll walk the golden streets. Oh, we'll walk the golden streets. Oh, and we're marching, up to Zion, that beautiful,
City of Yah.
and we're marching, up to Zion, that beautiful,
City of Yah.
Then let our songs abound, and every tear be dry. We're marching through Emmanuel's ground. We're marching through Emmanuel's ground, and thus surround the throne. wonderful. That they're glorious and victorious. They're beautiful. And they're wonderful. City. Oh, we're marching up to Zion. They're beautiful. That we're marching up to Zion. They're beautiful. And they're wonderful. They're glorious. Victorious. They're beautiful. Wonderful.
The oracles of the UCI. 1 Peter chapter 4, verses 7 through 11. But the end of all things is at hand. Be you therefore sober and watch unto prayer. And above all things have fervent love among yourselves, for love shall cover the multitude of sins. Use hospitality one to another without grudging. As every man has received the gift, even so minister the same one to another as good stewards of the manifold grace of Elohim. If any man speak, let him speak as the oracles of Elohim. If any man minister, let him do it as of the ability which Elohim gives, that Elohim in all things may be glorified through Yahshua the Mashiach, to whom be praise and dominion forever and ever. Amen. Ephesians chapter 4, verses 29 through chapter 5 and verse 4. Let no corrupt communication proceed out of your mouth, but that which is good to the use of edifying, that it may minister grace unto the hearers. And grieve not the Holy Spirit of Elohim, whereby you are sealed until the day of redemption. Let all bitterness and wrath and anger and clamor and evil speaking be put away from you with all malice. And be you kind one to another, tender-hearted, forgiving one another, even as Elohim for Yahshua's sake has forgiven you. Be you therefore followers of Elohim, as dear children, and walk in love, as the Mashiach also have loved us, and has given himself for us an offering and sacrifice to Elohim for a sweet-smelling savor. But fornication, and all uncleanness, or covetousness, let it not be once named among you as become saints. Neither filthiness, nor foolish talking, nor jesting, which are not convenient, but rather given of thanks. Ecclesiastes chapter 5, verses 1 and 2. Keep your foot when you go to the house of Elohim, and be more ready to hear than to give the sacrifice of fools, for they consider not that they do evil. Be not rash with your mouth, and let not your heart be hasty to utter anything before Elohim. For Elohim is in heaven, and you upon earth. Therefore, let your words be few. Exodus chapter 23, verses 20 and 21. Behold, I send an angel before you, to keep you in the way, and to bring you into the place which I have prepared. Beware of him, and obey his voice. Provoke him not, for he will not pardon your transgressions, for my name is in him. Revelations chapter 3, verses 20 through 22. Behold, I stand at the door and knock. If any man hear my voice and open the door, I will come into him and will sup with him, and he with me. To him that overcomes will I grant to sit with me in my throne, even as I have also overcame and am sat down with my Father in his throne. He that has an ear, let him hear what the Spirit says unto the churches.
All right, Shabbat Shalom,
Shabbat Shalom.
which is peace on Yahweh's holy Sabbath day. Welcome to another holy convocation that Yahweh has enjoined unto us here in this body of Yahshua. Matthew chapter 5 and verse 13 to 16 says, "You are the salt of the earth, but if the salt have lost his savor, wherewith shall it be salted? It is thenceforth good for nothing, but to be cast out and to be trodden under the foot of men. You are the light of the world. A city that is set on a hill cannot be hid. Neither do men light a candle and put it under a bushel, but on a candlestick, and it gives light unto all that are in the house. Let your light so shine before men, that they may see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven. When we examine this, there are a lot of points that we have to deal with. That light being set out there may not actually be comfortable unto you. But what we have to understand is this is all about Yahweh getting him some glory. But what happens is sometimes we're in our own personal feelings, we're in our own personal desires, and it never does occur to us how our Elohim is being perceived as we pursue our personal likes, dislikes, wants, and desires. It never does occur to us that other people are judging our God based on the actions that they see us dealing with. And we may not be in a situation where we're thinking about our God at all. We're thinking about purely ourselves. But those people are sitting there on the other side of the room saying, yeah, that's one of those people that serve Yahweh. As they watch you do whatever that is to pursue your natural wants and desires, they're going to attribute that to Yahweh. And it's something that we don't really consider. A city that is set on a hill cannot be hid. Well, he's got everybody looking at you. Even when you don't want everybody looking at you, they're looking at you. So right when you get in your most angry moment, your most I want to take care of me, I want me some me time moment, they're looking at you. And however you deal with that is what they are counting unto your Elohim. It's not being accounted unto you. They won't say, this brother is such and such. They won't say, this sister is such and such. They're going to say, yeah, that's how those people who know Yahweh act. It's something that we have to consider when we learn the great name of our Creator, when we decide that we're going to be called by the holy name of Israel. We need to understand that that is a holy name, and that light can't be put under a bushel. Understand, if you put a candlestick under a bushel, you know you just set everything on fire, right? You know you can't just put that kind of power anywhere, right? So we have to consider that it is a great honor, but also a great responsibility to know who Yahweh is. So let's begin today's sermon in Jeremiah chapter 1. And we're going to read verses 4 through 19. And today's sermon is entitled, The Removing of One's Candlestick. See, we first have to understand that even the great power of Yahshua stands among and has these walks among these 7 golden candlesticks. Then it talks about these 7 spirits. All right. So when you deal with that kind of power, we have to make sure that we deal with it in the right way. All right. Jeremiah chapter 1, and we're going to start that at verse 4.
The word of Yahweh came unto me, saying, before I formed you in the belly, I knew you. And before you came forth out of the womb, I sanctified you, and I ordained you a prophet unto the nations.
Now, understand something. If he says, before I formed you in the belly, I knew you. Before you came forth out of the womb, I sanctified you, and I ordained you a prophet. He was a prophet before he had done anything. Anything right, anything wrong, he was already a prophet. He had already been ordained. That means, and y'all think that, you know, a lot of times I'm playing when I say this. When your daddy pushed up on your mama at Club Watusi, he already had you in mind. It didn't matter whether they stayed together. It didn't matter whether it didn't matter nothing about them. He had already decided that he was going to make you. And he already had something in mind for you. You have to understand how powerful that is. You ain't found him. He made you. We don't even consider sometimes, because, parents ain't going to talk about that, before your dad, I talked to this dude named Daryl. Daryl was a fine specimen of a man, but he was an a-hole. He almost been your daddy. Hey, we don't consider, if Daryl was your daddy, he would have beat the hell out you every day. You don't consider Daryl wouldn't have took care of you. We don't consider any of those things. Yahweh had you in mind. Go ahead.
Okay. Verse 7. Verse 6. Then said I, Aha, Adonai, behold, I cannot speak, for I am a child.
He's a child, but he's been ordained from the womb. So he says, look, I don't have the authority to do this. You had the authority before you was made. Yeah, but there's age limits. Yeah, but I'm the one that set the age limit. Go ahead.
But Yahweh said unto me, Say not, I am a child, for you shall go to all that I shall send you, and whatsoever I command, you shall speak.
Now, this is where you can get yourself into some issues, and you find that they had a big problem with the Messiah because of this. Keep reading.
Be not afraid of their faces, for I am with you to deliver you, says Yahweh. Then Yahweh put forth his hand and touched my mouth, and Yahweh said unto me, Behold, I have put my words in your mouth.
Now, wait a minute. This is where you're going to find the indignation. Because when Yahweh puts his words in the mouth of a man, people will say, oh, this person done put himself in the place of Yahweh. Wait a minute, them Yahweh's words he's supposed to speak. Mm-hmm. So you got to understand how the indignation from those who have not the Spirit, how that's going to come across. Yahweh said, I put my word. So if Yahweh put his words, does the person have to keep saying, Yahweh said, Yahweh said? No. At some point, they're going to say, I said. And then what? That's all you got to hear one time. Now, the people say, oh, they putting themselves in Yahweh's stead. See, they don't understand what happens when Yahweh gives somebody a job. No. I need you to go and speak to them for me. So, the job in itself could get you smoked. All right? Yahweh sends you to go say something. Go tell them, thus says Yahweh. You're not going to keep saying, he said, and then Yahweh said, and then Yahweh said, and then he said, and then he said, and then Yahweh came. No. I need you to go stand there for me and talk to them and look directly in their eyes and say, I said. But you're going to get smoke from people when you do that. Don't think that every job that Yahweh give you going to be a situation where, oh, everything going to work out because Yahweh gave me the job. You don't really understand what being a servant is. That job may be problematic because he gave it to you. That's why he gave it to you. Because he figured you could handle the problem. That's why you got the job and the person sitting next to you didn't. So how you going to whine about the very reason you got picked? Go ahead.
See, I have this day set you over the nations and over the kingdoms, to root out and to pull down and to destroy and to throw down, to build and to plant. Moreover, the word of Yahweh came unto me, saying, Yirmiah, what seest you? And I said, I see a rod of an almond tree. Then said Yahweh unto me, You have well seen, for I will hasten my word to perform it. And the word of Yahweh came unto me the second time, saying, What seest you? And I said, I see a seething pot, and the face thereof is toward the north. Then Yahweh said unto me, Out of the north an evil shall break forth upon all the inhabitants of the land. For, lo, I will call all the families of the kingdoms of the north, says Yahweh, and they shall come, and they shall set every one his throne at the entering of the gates of Jerusalem, and against all the walls thereof round about, and against all the cities of Yehuda.
Now, this is not going to make him popular amongst those people when he tells them that this is what Yahweh is about to do. So Yahweh didn't give him a popularity job. Go ahead.
And I utter my judgments against them, touching all their wickedness, who have forsaken me, and have burnt incense unto other gods, and worshipped the works of their own hands. You therefore gird up your loins and arise, and speak unto them all that I command you. Be not dismayed at their faces, lest I confound you before them.
Now wait a minute. If you get to the point that you have a problem, that you are confounded, I'm gonna take care of your business. You better not be scared. They gonna look at you with some of the most aggressive looks. You better not. You better speak them words that I put in your mouth. Go ahead.
For, behold, I have made you this day a defense city, and an iron pillar and brazen walls against the whole land, against the kings of Yehuda, against the princes thereof, against the priests thereof, and against the people of the land. And they shall fight against you, but they shall not prevail against you. For I am with you, says Yahweh, to deliver you.
All right. Let's go to Exodus chapter 34. And by the way, we do have trivia. So if you guys want the trivia questions, send an email to the UCI.org, or you can send them the questions at the UCI.org and leave your email address. But please check to see if you already have them. If not, then send the email. Exodus chapter 34. And we're going to read verses 10 through 20.
And he said, Behold, I make a covenant before all your people. I will do marvels, such as have not been done in all the earth, nor in any nation. And all the people among which you are shall see the work of Yahweh, for it is a terrible thing that I will do with you.
Now, when we go back to the earlier reasons of the earlier writings, we then find the reasons why Yahweh can make this charge against us. No, I already presented this unto you. I already gave you what the rules were. So, you know, when you go into a court of law, they pull up the statute that they say you have broken. If there is no law, then they can't proclaim that you have broken some kind of law if there is no law. So he has to then go and present this formally. No, I told you all of these things, and I gave you substance. You had no reason to go and deal with any other gods. You did those things because that's just what you wanted to do. Go ahead.
Observe you that which I command you this day. Behold, I drive out before you the Amorite, and the Canaanite, and the Hittite, and the Perizzite, and the Hivite, and the Jebusite. Take heed to yourself, lest you make a covenant with the inhabitants of the land whither you goeth, lest it be for a snare in the midst of you. But you shall destroy their altars, break their images, and cut down their groves.
He said, going into the land, your relationship with these people is going to be that you destroy their altars, you break their images, you cut down their groves, and do not make any covenants with them. If you can't make any covenants, then you ain't supposed to be marrying them. And do understand, this is not a black and white thing that's happening here, because we understand that Canaan land comes from Hamite. Ham means burnt black. These are the children of Mr. Burnt Black himself. So he sent black people in and told them, don't marry them other black people. Oh, this ain't nothing to do with how they look. This has something to do with what was in him. Yeah, don't deal with them. Because sooner or later they're going to turn you. It might not be today, but sooner or later you are going to get turned. Go ahead.
For you shall worship no other God. For Yahweh, whose name is jealous, is a jealous hell. Lest you make a covenant with the inhabitants of the land, and they go a whoring after their gods, and do sacrifice unto their gods, and one call you, and you eat of his sacrifice.
Right. Yeah, I go to your party if you go to mine. And now you have given Yahweh this image of jealousy, seeing you hanging out at this place. Go ahead.
And you take of their daughters unto your sons, and their daughters go a whoring after their gods, and make your sons go a whoring after their gods. You shall make you no molten gods. The feast of unleavened bread shall you keep. 7 days you shall eat unleavened bread, as I commanded you, in the time of the month Abib. For in the month Abib you came out from Egypt. All that opens the matrix is mine, and every firstling among your cattle, whether ox or sheep, that is male. But the firstling of an ass you shall redeem with a lamb, and if you redeem him not, then shall you break his neck. All the firstborn of your sons you shall redeem, and none shall appear before me empty.
All right, none shall appear before me empty. Now let's go to Jeremiah chapter 2. See, for those that claim, that all the law was nailed to the cross. If all the law is nailed to the cross, then there's no sin. For where there is no law, there cannot be sin. The two of those have to connect. If there's sin, then there must still be law. Jeremiah chapter 2, and let's start that at verse 1.
Moreover, the word of Yahweh came to me, saying, Go and cry in the ears of Jerusalem, saying, Thus says Yahweh, I remember you, the kindness of your youth, the love of your espousals, when you went after me in the wilderness, in a land that was not sown.
All right, so Yahweh is telling us back our story, and this is us. If you look at us as a nation and then look at us singularly, when we are in pursuit of something in the beginning, we go in the kindness of your youth. Oh, we go at it with innocency. We go at it with everything in our might. But then after a while, go ahead.
Yisrael was holiness unto Yahweh.
Was. Go ahead.
And the first fruits of his increase. All that devour him shall offend. Evil shall come upon them, says Yahweh. Hear you the word of Yahweh, O house of Jacob, and all the families of the house of Israel. Thus says Yahweh, What lawlessness have your fathers found in me, that they are gone far from me, and have walked after vanity, and are become vain? Neither said they, Where is Yahweh that brought us up out of the land of Egypt, that led us through the wilderness, through a land of deserts and of pits, through a land of drought and of the shadow of death, through a land that no man passed through, and where no man dwelt? And I brought you into a plentiful country to eat the fruit thereof and the goodness thereof. But when you entered, you defiled my land and made my heritage an abomination. The priest said not, Where is Yahweh? And they that handled the law knew me not. The pastors also transgressed against me, and the prophets prophesied by Baal, and walked after things that do not profit. Wherefore I will yet plead with you, says Yahweh, and with your children's children will I plead. For pass over the isles of Shittim, and see, and send on to Kedar, and consider diligently, and see if there be such a thing. Has a nation changed their gods, which are yet no gods? But my people have changed their glory for that which does not profit. Be astonished, O you heavens, at this, and be horribly afraid. Be you very desolate, says Yahweh. For my people have committed two evils. They have forsaken me, the foundation of living waters, and hewed them out cisterns, broken cisterns that can hold no water.
So then they created their own worship. They created their own system. If My people have committed two evils. They have forsaken me, the fountain of living waters, and hewed them out cisterns, broken cisterns that can hold no water. So instead of dealing with that which Yahweh has set up, he says, no, 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 no. You set up your own, and it is inadequate. So you don't have one evil, you have two. But most of the times, that's how that goes. When we get to the point where we desire something that does not belong to us, and then we go and steal it, you already at sin number two. The first point was you desiring something that did not belong to you. After that, you then made a move to get it. So once you have been caught with theft, you on charge number two, not charge number one. Go ahead.
Is Yisrael a servant? Is he a homeborn slave? Why is he spoiled? The young lions roared upon him and yelled, and they made his land waste. His cities are burnt without inhabitant. Also the children of Naph and Taphanes have broken the crown of your head. Have you not procured this unto yourself, in that you have forsaken Yahweh your El, when he led you by the way?
Mm-hmm.
And now, what have you to do in the way of Egypt, to drink the waters of Sihor? Or what have you to do in the way of Assyria, to drink the waters of the river? Your own wickedness shall correct you, and your backsliding shall reprove you. Know therefore and see that it is an evil thing and bitter, that you have forsaken Yahweh your El, and that my fear is not in you, says Yahweh Elohim of hosts.
Right. And as we go to commune amongst the other nations, the fear of our Elohim disappears inside of us. See, we have the fear of our Elohim as we are close. Consider something. Moshe got the closest to Elohim and had the most fear of Elohim. He got closest to the power. The other people were scared in a different way. They scared in that they ran. He's scared in that he obeyed. A different kind of fear. Different kind of fear. So you have the fear that runs and separates itself from Yahweh. Every time you turn around, they make an excuse how they can be apart from Yahweh. Moshe, well, he said, the power was so great that I exceedingly fear and quake. But he followed the instructions. Different kind of fear. See, we don't have the kind of fear that run. We have the kind of fear that get things done. Go ahead.
For of old time I have broken your yoke and burst your bands. And you said, I will not transgress, when upon every high hill and under every green tree you wandereth, playing the harlot. Yet I had planted you a noble vine, holy, a right seed. How then are you turned into the degenerate plant of a strange vine unto me?
Mm-hmm.
For though you wash you with niter and take you much soap, yet your lawlessness is marked before me, says Yahweh Elohim. How can you say, I am not polluted, I have not gone after Baalim? See your way in the valley, know what you have done. You are a swift dromedary traversing her ways.
Right. Now, you have to try to, examine this. Like, why would Yahweh be going through this? How can you say I am not polluted? See, what'll happen is it won't be set up that I'm going after other gods. So first, you will go after the people who deal with those gods. Then before you know it, you're doing the things that those people do, all the while alienating yourself from the commonwealth of Israel. Now you're dealing with the things of Baalim. Why? Because you're hanging with his people. Go ahead.
A wild ass used to the wilderness that snuffs up the wind at her pleasure. In her occasion, who can turn her away? All they that seek her will not weary themselves. In her month they shall find her. Withhold your foot from being unshod, and your throat from thirst. But you said it, there is no hope. No, for I have loved strangers, and after them will I go.
Uh-huh.
As the thief is ashamed when he is found, so is the house of Israel ashamed. they, their kings, their princes, and their priests, and their prophets, saying to a stock, you are my father, and to a stone, you have brought me forth. For they have turned their back onto me, and not their face, but in the time of their trouble, they will say, arise and save us.
That's what happens. See, we neglect Israel, we neglect Yahweh, but as soon as we realize that the foundation of our house is weakening, oh, Yahweh, come save me. No, wait. Who's all them people you gave your chief time to? Call Baal people. Them the people you've been hanging out, right? You've been hanging out with Baalim. You've been hanging out. That's where you put all your chief time. That's where you put all your chief money. You brought the first of your fruit. You came and had a party with Baal. You didn't bring that to Yahweh. So in the time of your distress, why are you calling me? Shouldn't you be on Baal's line right now? Go ahead.
But where are your gods that you have made you? Let them arise, if they can save you in the time of your trouble. For according to the number of your cities are your gods, O Yehuda. Wherefore will you plead with me? You all have transgressed against me, says Yahweh. In vain have I smitten your children. They receive no correction. Your own sword has devoured your prophets like a destroying lion. O generation, see you the word of Yahweh. Have I been a wilderness unto Israel, a land of darkness? Wherefore say my people, we are masters. We will come no more unto you. Can a maid forget her ornaments, or a bride her attire? Yet my people have forgotten me days without number.
My people have forgotten me days without number. But see, this is what happened when we start getting what we want. The closer we get to the things that we want, the further away we get from Yahweh. And we don't understand that this is part of a serious balancing act. Some of the things that we have not received, it's because he knows that when he gives it to you, he ain't gonna see you no more. Go ahead.
Why trimmeth you your way to seek love? Therefore have you also taught the wicked ones your ways. Also in your skirts is found the blood of the souls of the poor innocents. I have not found it by secret search, but upon all these. Yet you say, because I am innocent, surely his anger shall turn from me.
You see, Yahweh had to prove to us. So, you think you innocent. See, you don't actually see what you have done. You actually believe. It said, Lucifer's so slick he deceived himself. You actually don't believe that you're guilty. So Yahweh like, no, I need to pause for a second so I can show you. Because I don't think you see you. Go ahead.
You know, in verse 33, he says, why trimmeth you your way to seek love? Basically, you making adjustments and changes to get what you want. But you're going to go right back to being who you are.
It always happens, brother. Always happens. You know, that's, one of the things that we do when we're courting. We go and talk to, somebody and then folks start asking them questions. Or what kind of person you like? Don't worry about what kind of person I like. You just be the person you are. Because when I tell you what kind I like, you're going to pretend to be that. But guess what's going to happen? Sooner or later, the real you just going to come out on Tuesday morning. Who the hell was that? Oh, I'm sorry. Let me put that back in. Who was that? That was the real me. I didn't tell. I was tired and sleeping, and she just jumped out. Well, you know what? Hell no. Too late now. Too late now. Go ahead.
Behold, I will plead with you, because you say, I have not sinned. Why gaddeth you about so much to change your way? You also shall be ashamed of Egypt, as you was ashamed of Assyria. Yea, you shall go forth from me, and your hands upon your head. For Yahweh has rejected your confidence, and you shall not prosper in them.
All right. Hold your place in Jeremiah, and I want you to go to Isaiah chapter 5. Isaiah chapter 5 and start that at verse 1.
Now will I sing to my beloved a song of my beloved touching his vineyard. My beloved has a vineyard in a very fruitful hill, and he fenced it and gathered out the stones thereof and planted it with the choicest vine and built a tower in the midst of it and also made a winepress therein. And he looked that it should bring forth grapes, and it brought forth wild grapes. And now, O inhabitants of Jerusalem and men of Yehuda, judge, I pray you, between me and my vineyard.
These are the words that you never want to hear. Judge between me and my. What comes after that may not be what you expect. Go ahead.
What could have been done more to my vineyard that I have not done in it? Wherefore, when I looked that it should bring forth grapes, brought it forth wild grapes.
Right. So Yahweh has brought forth, set up a foundation for us, set up this vineyard, planted the choicest vine, and when he looks forth from the fruit, he get wild grapes. These wild grapes do what they want to do. Wild grapes follow when it's convenient for them. But as it is written, when they get in trouble, they know where Yahweh at, though. So that means you realize something. That means you always knew where Yahweh was. Go ahead.
And now go to. I will tell you what I will do to my vineyard. I'll take away the hedge thereof, and it shall be eaten up, and break down the wall thereof, and it shall be trodden down. And I'll lay it waste. It shall not be pruned, nor digged, but there shall come up briars and thorns. I will also command the clouds that they rain no rain upon it.
Right. So then when we start going through all of those ailments and whatnot, this is Yahweh saying, wait a minute, I need to get the attention of my vineyard. What more could have been done in my vineyard that I didn't do? What did I not give you? Go ahead.
For the vineyard of Yahweh of hosts is the house of Israel, and the men of Yehuda his pleasant plant.
Wait a minute. So this is the vineyard. So when he says, I set up this vineyard, I put in the choicest vine, I put the best stuff in you. Tell me, how did you become this degenerate plant? Tell me, how did you become wild grapes that can't follow instruction? Well, at this point, hey, he's letting you know that this is Israel. His pleasant plant is Yehuda. He said, well, you know what? That hedge, I'm going to take it down. This is something that we pray about constantly. Do not remove the hedge. It's the hedge that kept Lucifer from touching Job. He knew he was the whole time. He was right there. But Yahweh had to remove the hedge for him to be able to touch Job. So when we start getting touched all of a sudden, what happened? How was he all of a sudden given access to you? Who removed the hedge? Did Lucifer go past where he was allowed to go? Did you step outside the hedge? Or was the hedge broken down? You got to pick one of those, because it's got to be one of them. And you can't just say, oh, Yahweh knocked down the hedge. Look behind you and see if the hedge still there. That means you ain't where you supposed to be. If the hedge behind you and ain't one in front of you, you walked outside of it. At that point, Luke said, hey, well, he fair game, Yahweh. He ain't got no business being over here. He ain't got no business. You know what we do over here. You know, Yahweh, you know what we do over here. He ain't got no business being over here. She ain't got no business being over here. I'm going to teach them a lesson for you. Don't worry. They're going to come back crying to you. Go ahead.
And he looked for judgment, but behold, oppression. For righteousness, but behold, a cry.
All right. So jump to verse 25.
Therefore is the anger of Yahweh kindled against his people, and he has stretched forth his hand against them, and has smitten them. And the hills did tremble, and their carcasses were torn in the midst of the streets.
This is why another group of people are in the middle of our land waging war, talking about it's there. And the whole earth is now standing up saying, wait a minute, now we getting tired of looking at this. All of a sudden, the whole earth done got, now these people done passed laws all across the earth that you can't say nothing bad about them. Nations are now standing up saying, look, we can't watch this no more. And here it is, the same country that is giving them all the weaponry. These folks so bold, they said, we ain't going to listen to you. Now make sure you had that 14 billion over here by tomorrow. But we ain't listening to you. My elder always said, when the book says, the least of the flock shall draw out the daughter of Babylon, he said, oh, that was always Israel. Israel is what's going to draw America into war. Give them all the weaponry, give them all the money, and they don't listen to America at all. And then bold about not listening. But still expecting that money, though. Still want that weapons, though. But not gonna listen. Go ahead.
For all this, his anger is not turned away, but his hand is stretched out still. And he will lift up an ensign to the nations from far, and will hiss unto them from the end of the earth. And, behold, they shall come with speed swiftly. None shall be weary, nor stumble among them. None shall slumber, nor sleep. Neither shall the girdle of their loins be loose, nor the latchet of their shoes be broken. Whose arrows are sharp, and all their bows bent. Their horses' hoofs shall be counted like flint, and their wheels like a whirlwind. Their roaring shall be like a lion. They shall roar like young lions. Yea, they shall roar, and lay hold of the prey, and shall carry it away safe, and none shall deliver it. And in that day they shall roar against them like the roaring of the sea. And if one look onto the land, behold, darkness and sorrow, and the light is darkened in the heavens thereof.
So then it is being stated and put forth that judgment is coming unto Israel in the form of captivity from the other nations, and there's nothing Israel is going to be able to do about it. Now let's go to Jeremiah chapter 5. But understand, we set this up. These things didn't just happen unto Israel. See, this is why it comes a point that we have to stand up and stand out for some things and say, oh, no, you can't do that here. Oh, no, you're going to have to do better with this. Because when the judgment comes up, Yahweh sits and he waits. That's why he sits and he said, is there not judgment upon the earth? What is he waiting for? He waiting for one of the other people to come and stop it. He's waiting for one of his family. He's waiting for one of Israel to go over there and say, hey man, you can't do that. And when none of us react, then all of us have to deal with it. So imagine you got one thing going over in the corner and all these people in the room and nobody says anything. And you think that when Yahweh show up, he coming for that one person. You don't understand your God. When he show up, he's coming for us all. Because what he want to know, how the hell was all y'all in the room and didn't nobody say nothing? Explain to me how all y'all looked at that and then nobody say nothing. No, he not coming for no house here. He not coming for no man. He coming for the whole nation. How is it y'all stood by and watched and nobody said a thing? So now he said, no, I'm coming for your kids. I'm coming for your kids. I'm coming for everybody. So keeping order is what protects not just us, but the generation under us. Go ahead, brother.
Run you to and fro through the streets of Jerusalem, and see now, and know, and seek in the broad places thereof, if you can find a man, if there be any that execute judgment, that seeks the truth, and I'll pardon.
If you could just find a man. Come on, man, just find somebody who say, this not just their problem. I spare the city. Just show me somebody. But see, we have been taught to be individualized. You know, that's not really my issue. So, you know, I ain't gonna worry about that. Go ahead.
You know, when you look at this whole situation, accountability is put on all. Because you can't sit, he said a man. You can't sit there and say, well, I ain't from Judah, they the lawgivers. Or I ain't from these people, I'm not a Levite. So nah, that's put on everybody. And though they say, Yahweh live, surely they swear falsely. O Yahweh, are not your eyes upon the truth? You have stricken them, but they have not grieved. You have consumed them, but they have refused to receive correction. They have made their faces harder than a rock. They have refused to return. Therefore I said, surely these are poor. They are foolish, for they know not the way of Yahweh, nor the judgment of their Elohim.
If we understood judgment, there's some things that we would definitely correct before he steps into the scene. Because his judgment is going to be on a totally different level. If you understood judgment, you would definitely show up and take that plea deal. I know what, I accept this. Go ahead.
I'll get me unto the great men, and will speak unto them. For they have known the way of Yahweh, and the judgment of their Elohim. But these have altogether broken the yoke, and burst the bonds. Wherefore a lion out of the forest shall slay them, and a wolf of the evenings shall spoil them. A leopard shall watch over their cities. Every one that goes out thence shall be torn in pieces, because their transgressions are many, and their backslidings are increased. How shall I pardon you for this? Your children have forsaken me, and sworn by them that are no gods.
Right, your children are going to do what they see you do. You can't tell them, do what I say, don't do what I do. You can talk to them about this, that, and the third. Oh, I'm going to talk to them about Yahweh, but then your kids look at you, well, wait a minute, I heard you speak about Yahweh, but it looked like you follow your way. Go ahead.
When I had fed them to the full, they then committed adultery.
Right, when we start having the Roman eyes, when I fed them to the full. Now, what he said in the beginning, when they went after me in the wilderness, the kindness of your youth, oh, you went after me. But now, once you get fed to the full, all it takes is a little bit of substance, and we have forgotten our Elohim. Now, how he going to give us riches untold? If he can't give you a little bit of stuff, and you still know who he is. He give you a Corolla and he don't see you no more. He had a BMW for you. Hell, I can't give you the BMW. I didn't see you once I gave you the damn Corolla. Then he got to figure out either the BMW just gonna sit here and rust, or maybe I need to give it to somebody else. Because since I gave my servant that Corolla, I ain't seen him since. Go ahead.
And assemble themselves by troops in the harlot's houses.
That's where we're going to spend all our cheap time. See? He said, when I fed them to the full, now they got all the things that they had prayed to me about. Now they got all the things that they had asked me about. Now they got all of those things. Now where they at? At that whole house? Wait a minute. You asked me for all this stuff. I gave you all that stuff. Where you at? don't see you or the Corolla. I met my friends over this whole house. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. So she must be handing out salvation like it's going out of style over there. Oh, okay. Go ahead.
They were as fed horses in the morning. Everyone neighed after his neighbor's wife.
Oh, ain't that what they do at the whole house? Everybody look at everybody else woman. Matter of fact, folk dress their woman up so other people can look at them. Come on now. Come on, stop acting like we don't know what this is. Everybody gonna be looking at you in this, girl. Don't act like you ain't never bought no cat suit. I know I have. Go ahead, brother.
Shall I not visit for these things?
Uh-huh.
Says Yahweh. And shall not my soul be avenged on such a nation as this? Go you upon her walls and destroy, but make not a full end. Take away her battlements, for they are not Yahweh's. For the house of Israel and the house of Yehuda have dealt very treacherously against me, says Yahweh. They have belied Yahweh and said, it is not he, neither shall evil come upon us, neither shall we see sword nor famine. And the prophets shall become wind, and the word is not in them. Thus shall it be done unto them. Wherefore thus says Yahweh Elohim of hosts, because you speak this word, behold, I'll make my words in your mouth fire, and this people wood, and it shall devour them.
Now that's gonna be another problem. That's gonna be another problem. Now you speaking like you supposed to be somebody. I'm speaking Yahweh's word. What that bothers you? Especially when they're a piece of wood and they getting burnt up every word that come out your mouth. You know, wood make noise when it get burned. Now. Oh, it's a lot of crackling. A whole lot of crackling. So that crackling you hear. Bro, you getting out? Yeah. That's just that fire on you. That's all it is. That's all it is. Go ahead.
Lo, I'll bring a nation upon you from far, O house of Israel, says Yahweh. It is a mighty nation. It is an ancient nation, a nation whose language you knoweth not, neither understand what they say. Their quiver is an open sepulchre. They are all mighty men.
If it's an open sepulchre, it's an open grave. Everything about them is unclean. An open grave? I understand you can't get no more unclean than an open grave. Even a graveyard closes the graves. Go ahead.
And they shall eat up your harvest and your bread, which your sons and your daughters should eat. They shall eat up your flocks and your herds. They shall eat up your vines and your fig trees. They shall impoverish your fenced cities, wherein you trusted with the sword.
Now, you have to look at the irony and the poetic punishment that Yahweh gives. You sinned against me when you were fed to the full. I gave you the things that you prayed and asked for, and you turned your back on me. Well, I'm going to take all of those things. Now you finna lose all of that stuff. All that stuff finna go away from you. It was this stuff that caused you to turn your back. Oh, and Yahweh deals with this very poetically. You might think it's, okay, your flocks and your herds, they shall eat up your vines, your fig trees, they shall impoverish your fenced cities. No. You might say, okay, well, I got this good job and everything going good. No. He ain't got to take the job. What he's just gonna do is give you bills that go over the top of the job payment. Oh, no. Because right now you say, I got it made. I'm making $27 an hour, brother, living. Right. And your bill's gonna be $25 an hour. You're gonna have $2 left over every hour. You be like, where all these bills come from? Go ahead.
Nevertheless, in those days, says Yahweh, I'll not make a full end with you. And it shall come to pass, when you shall say, wherefore does Yahweh, our Elohim, all these things unto us?
You see that? Every time he got to prove to us that we out the way. He got to prove to us that we out the way. Because we think we in the right path. Now, what would make us believe that? It's easy. When we in a circle of like-minded individuals, we are constantly pushing toward to be better. When we go out to hang amongst bald people, guess what? The least of us is upright to them. Now we start feeling justified. See? A person who ain't slid but 1 or 2 times go amongst the whorehouse and say, I feel righteous. All these people are flat-footed hoes in here. See, I'm just a beginner hoe, and then I feel good in here. Right. So now you start to feel justified because you're not around like-minded individuals who are trying to get better. You're around the degenerate plants, and now you seem righteous. So now you start to fall and slide further down that tree. But it don't feel like you're falling because all these people way more fouler than you. They all foul. They got bodies. You can kill 2 people on Tuesday and still not be the worst one in the bunch. Right. Go ahead, priest.
You know, but in the midst of you feeling righteous amongst the whorehouse, Yahweh's name is being tarnished.
Yahweh's name done entered the whole house because you went in it. What are you talking about? Now the whore's talking about Yahweh. And now you think you doing something. Yeah, I got all the hoes talking about Yahweh. They talking, but they ain't walking. Go ahead.
Then shall you answer them, like as you have forsaken me, and served strange gods in your land, so shall you serve strangers in a land that is not yours.
Right. This is forever the way that Yahweh constantly punishes us. You won't follow my instructions, I tell you what, you gonna be servants in somebody else's land because you wouldn't serve me in mine. We are still dealing with that right now. We still have the mindset of a servant. We'll work sun up to sundown like it's nothing. Go look at them other nations. They don't work like that. Go on any job. Find out which one is the hardest. Watch and see, don't we be the one that they get that job to? All them other jobs somebody of another nation got. Find out that one that's super difficult. They say, oh, no. We need the people who were born to be servants to do this. Because ain't none of us, we're not gonna work that hard. They know which jobs to give us. That might be good paying that job, but that job is difficult. Go ahead.
Declare this in the house of Jacob and publish it in Yehuda, saying, hear now this, O foolish people, and without understanding, which have eyes and see not, which have ears and hear not. Fear you not me, says Yahweh. Will you not tremble at my presence, which have placed the sand for the bound of the sea by a perpetual decree, that it cannot pass it? And though the waves thereof toss themselves, yet can they not prevail. Though they roar, yet can they not pass over it. But this people have a revolting and a rebellious heart. They are revolted and gone. Neither say they in their heart, let us now fear Yahweh our Elohim, that gives rain, both the former and the latter, in his season. He reserveth unto us the appointed weeks of the harvest. Your lawlessness have turned away these things, and your sins have withholden good things from you. For among my people are found wicked men. They lay wait as he that sets snares. They set a trap, they catch men. As a cage is full of birds, so are their houses full of deceit. Therefore they are become great and waxen rich.
Therefore they have become great and waxen rich. They done figured out a few tricks on how to do some things. They have made friends of the unrighteous mammon and decided to take on some of their ways, and it has prospered them financially. Go ahead.
They are waxen fat. They shine, yea, they overpass the deeds of the wicked. They judge not the cause of the fatherless, yet they prosper. And the right of the needy do they not judge. Shall I not visit for these things, says Yahweh? Shall not my soul be avenged on such a nation as this? A wonderful and horrible thing is committed in the land. The prophets prophesy falsely, and the priests bear rule by their means. And my people love to have it so. And what will you do in the end thereof?
Right. So then when we examine this, we have to deal with Yahweh is not just coming to a point where, oh, I'm going to give Israel back their land. Understand, you got a job to do. You won't just be going, oh, he gonna give you this, he gonna give you that so you can live comfortably. All right, you're gonna live comfortable, but you're gonna take care of some business. And if you don't take care of that business, we done already seen what had happened. He gonna remove you out that land and put somebody else in it. Let's go to Matthew chapter 16. That's the one thing that the people who pretend to be Israel don't want to discuss. He said over and over, if you don't serve me in my land, then I'm going to make you serve your enemies in your enemies' land. Show me where this keeps happening unto you. Because this is a perpetual curse unto Israel. They can't provide it. They can't provide it because it didn't happen. And if it didn't happen to you, then how is this book discussing you? Matthew chapter 16, and I want to read verses 24 through 28.
Then said Yahshua unto his disciples, if any man will come after me, let him deny himself and take up his burdens and follow me. For whosoever will save his life shall lose it, and whosoever will lose his life for my sake shall find it.
So then we can spend all our time trying to do as much as we can to set about our own way in life and end up further behind. The more time we put into it. Go ahead.
For what is a man profited if he shall gain the whole world and lose his own soul? Or what shall a man give in exchange for his soul?
What can you give in exchange for your soul? What can you possibly get out here in the world that is going to be equivalent to your soul? No matter what thing that you believe you might be able to achieve, it is not worth your soul. I really didn't realize how much my Elohim had protected me, not allowing me to do music on that level. Every time I got ready to get a contract in front of me, each time I wouldn't sign it. I didn't understand the power of what he had done. By the time those musical contracts were put on the table in front of me, I already had a house and 2 cars. Everything they tried to offer me for the price of my soul, nah, bro, I already got that. Bro, I got 3-level houses. Hell, I go out to the basement just to make sure ain't nobody living in there. I just go down there and make noise. Ain't nobody in here. So how the hell you gonna bribe me with this? I didn't understand the genius of what Yahweh did because I didn't understand how foul the entire industry was. It wasn't worth my soul. But all I thought about was getting into that industry. Now, I have some understanding about what those people have gone through. Now you understand, wow, this is why these folks keep having drug problems. Because you keep asking yourself, how does everybody end up with a drug problem? Oh, no, they're trying to cope with some of the things that they've done. Because they've lost their soul trying to fulfill the desires of their heart. Go ahead, bro.
For the Son of Man shall come in the glory of his Father with his angels, and then he shall reward every man according to his works. Verily I say unto you, there be some standing here which shall not taste of death, till they see the Son of Man coming in his kingdom.
All right, let's go to Luke chapter 12. See, we have to remember what the adversary offered Yahshua. All of this is given unto me, and I give it unto whom I will. Just bow down and worship me. He has the power to deliver you all of your financial wishes. You know, if you look at some of those stories of some people who have won lotto, man, they have some of the worst stories that you could ever imagine. They said this money has been the worst thing that has ever happened to me. And that's not how we see. We think, hey, the more money you have, the better off you're going to be, right? Them people hit lotto and said, I wish I never hit. All my friends turned into enemies. Everybody came at me. Done got sued 4-5 times. And every flaw in their character has been magnified. That slight drinking problem has become a huge drinking problem. That slight smoking problem, they done turned into a chimney. That little slight eyeball problem, now they're a flat-footed hoe. What happened? Money. This only thing changed. What changed about you? You the same person, you had the same understanding. What happened? Tax bracket change. Oh. See, this is what happened too. It happens real more so when there's a fast tax bracket change. See, if the tax bracket change is gradual, you learn to deal gradually. When you go from nothing to everything, oh my God, you're the worst one in the room, and everybody know except you. You never got a chance to move up those brackets and get accustomed to what's at this level, and then move to this level, and then move to this level. When you jump from here to there, you got a problem. Watch some of these ball players in their first couple years. They're absolute horrors. Nobody told them how to deal with money. Nobody trained them about, all right, look, there's a whole life class you need to have right here. You about to go through hell and you don't know it. Everything is about to come at you. They don't go through any of that. So their first couple of years are horrible. And some of them never make it past those couple of years. They just dissipate. Why? Under all the other pressure. Not because of playing ball. Playing ball, they know how to do that. It when they blew the whistle and the game was over. How did people get to the hotel before I get here? How the hell they know I was going to be in room 214? What is this? Tupac got convicted for raping a girl that he wasn't even in the room with. Now tell me how the hell you do that. Tell me how you raped somebody and you wasn't in the room. And they know he wasn't in the room. That's the other side. And we never consider what's going to come with some of those things that we desire. Go ahead, priest.
You know, even in that situation, you got to consider he was in a different tax bracket, right?
Uh-huh.
So it was best to blame him.
Yeah. The blame always follows the one who's highest in the bracket. Because you can't, what did they tell us? I don't know if they told Jamaicans that. This is a down south thing, maybe. You can't squeeze blood from a turnip. Turnip ain't got no blood in it. I don't give a damn how hard you squeeze it. So no matter how hard you squeeze that broke dude, ain't no money gonna come out. He ain't got no money in there. Ain't no money coming out. But that guy got money. Well, let's blame him. We can sue him. Pookie broke. If we sue him, we got to split the same cornflake that he got. And they soggy. We don't want that. But that dude got that frosted flake. That flake frosted right there. He got Tony the Tiger himself pouring his flakes. Oh no, that's the one we gonna sue. That's the one. See, you got to know when you in that circle that, oh, I'm gonna be the one that gonna blame for this. When my oldest son was in Little League, one of the guys ended up becoming a commissioner over the Little League part. He was commissioner 2 or 3 days. You have to get elected. They went through everything. In them 2 or 3 days, he got the books. Now, this guy was rich. Had 2 MTV crib-looking houses. All of them was just decked out. All right? We had the banquets at his house. All right? Pool, everything. House laid. Both of them. Got the paperwork. Looked at how much money they was stealing at the Little League park. Put the stuff right back in there and went right back in there and quit. Why? I'm the only rich one here. They gonna blame me. I just opened this book and found $80,000 missing. Who the hell you think they gonna blame? They ain't gonna blame none of these broke people who been stealing this money. They gonna blame who pulled up in that Mercedes. Knuckle, I had a Mercedes when I pulled up before. I didn't get this after I met you. But that's not what they gonna see. Him realizing, no, I got the most money in this situation. Hey, thank y'all for the job, but no thanks. Here go y'all paper back. Absolutely not. I thought it was strange until I pulled him aside and asked the question. I said, oh, no. You did wise, my friend. Because I had been wondering what was happening with this constant change of money that was going on. No. He knew that he was going to get the blame. Now, here's the bad side of that. You go amongst the heathen. You ain't the one with the most money. But you're the only one that know Yahweh. Who you think they gonna make the fall guy? Now, there's people in there more money than you, but this is a different game now. They all serve the adversary, the devil. You the only one now who know Yahweh's name. Who you think the fall guy gonna be? Right. It says he has great indignation with those that keep the commandments, and he waged war against them. Who did he not wage war against? His own people. Right. I hope you're getting ready for war. Go ahead, Bree.
Luke chapter 12 and verse 13. And one of the company said unto him, Master, speak to my brother that he divide the inheritance with me. And he said unto him, Man, who made me a judge or divider over you? And he said unto them, Take heed, and beware of covetousness, for a man's life consisteth not in the abundance of the things which he possessed.
Man, this is what we spend all our time worrying about. And let me tell you something. I have gotten the most in life when I was the brokest. Yahweh is not limited to your financial ability. Every time I've gotten something, I didn't have enough money to get it. But I put in some different kind of work, though. Nothing to See, I put in some work that they don't give you no check for every 2 weeks. Your daddy know. He know when it come time for doing, no, walk on up to the front. Nah, Yahweh, I can't afford that. Boy, shut up. Walk on up to the front. Yahweh, I can't afford. Boy, shut up. Your daddy rich. Now, I'm broke, but my daddy loaded. I'm broke as hell. You know what I'm talking about? But my daddy loaded. Go ahead.
And he spake a parable unto them, saying, The ground of a certain rich man brought forth plentifully. And he thought within himself, saying, What shall I do? because I have no room where to bestow my fruits. And he said, this will I do. I'll pull down my barns and build greater, and there will I bestow all my fruits and my goods. And I'll say to my soul, soul, you have much goods laid up for many years. Take your ease, eat, drink, and be merry.
Be merry. Go ahead.
But Elohim said unto him, you fool, this night your soul shall be required of you.
This night your soul shall be required of you. Now what's up with all that stuff you done stacked up? All that time you done spent working. All those things. Guess what? That means while you were stacking up all those goods, there was relationships that you didn't work on. And all that stuff, where it gonna go? Go ahead.
Then whose shall those things be, which you have provided? So is he that lays up treasure for himself and is not rich toward Elohim.
There you go. Wait a minute. So there's different accounts then. He has treasures of himself, but he don't have no account with Elohim. Wait a minute. It's too. See, you got to diversify your portfolio. See, your portfolio ain't got nothing but natural money in it. Oh, man, there's a whole lot of people that got an amazing natural portfolio. Oh, but hold on, but you poor. Why you think when you read in Revelation it says, I know them that are rich, but you poor. Then he goes back on the other side, and I know these people that are poor, but you rich. Wait a minute, we talking about two different accounts. See, if all your money is in your natural account, if you can pull up your Bank of America app and pull up your account balance, and that's where all your riches are, I'm telling you, you got a problem. Yahweh got a whole nother account system. And if you ain't got none on his, I'm telling you, you're going to have some problem. Because you're going to find that account in Bank of America going to get ate up real quick. Now you're going to have to deal with something else. That's the thing that people find out when them storms hit. The people who had a Bentley was in the same water line as the people who had that broken down old 86 Eldorado that barely run when it rained. They was in the same water line. They was in the same line with him that have a Bentley. One storm. Wait a minute. Now we got to rely on a different account. Now that account, can't nobody get to it. Yeah, you got millions over there, but you can't get to that. Now we got to deal with a different account. What account, what do you have stored up in this one? Yeah, you're rich toward men. How are you toward Elohim? Go ahead.
And he said unto his disciples, therefore I say unto you, take no thought for your life, what you shall eat, neither for the body, what you shall put on. The life is more than meat, and the body is more than raiment. Consider the ravens, for they neither sow nor reap, which neither have storehouse nor barn, and Elohim feeds them. How much more are you better than the fowls? And which of you, with taking thought, can add to his stature 1 cubit? If you then be not able to do that thing which is least, why take you thought for the rest? Consider the lilies, how they grow. They toil not, they spin not, and yet I say unto you, that Shlomo in all his glory was not arrayed like one of these. If then Elohim so clothed the grass, which is today in the field, and tomorrow is cast into the oven, how much more will he clothe you, O you of little faith? And seek not you what you shall eat, or what you shall drink, neither be you of doubtful mind. For all these things do the nations of the world seek after, and your Father knows that you have need of these things. But rather seek you the kingdom of Elohim, and all these things shall be added unto you.
But that's going to confuse the individuals who put all their time in themselves, and then their business still ain't taken care of. It's going to confuse them when you don't put all of your time and energy into taking care of yourself, and you look up and your business still get taken care of somehow. Right. Let's go to Hosea chapter 13. Hosea chapter 13. And we're going to read verses 1 through 11.
When Ephraim spake trembling, he exalted himself in his shroud. But when he offended in Baal, he died. And now they sin no more. And now they sin more and more, and have made them molten images of their silver and idols according to their own understanding, all of it the work of the craftsmen. They say of them, let the men that sacrifice kiss the calves. Therefore they shall be as the morning cloud, and as the early dew that passes away, as the shaft that is driven with the whirlwind out of the floor, and as the smoke out of the chimney. Yet I am Yahweh your Elohim from the land of Egypt, and you shall know no God but me, for there is no Savior beside me. I did know you in the wilderness, in the land of great drought. According to their pasture, so were they filled. They were filled, and their heart was exalted. Therefore have they forgotten me.
Right. Once the heart gets exalted, now we've forgotten Yahweh. It is amazing how easy it is for us to forget where we come from. Go ahead.
Therefore I'll be unto them as a lion, as a leopard by the way will I observe them. I'll meet them as a bear that is bereaved of her whelps.
Now, remember all of those things right there, because what he's talking about is all of the kingdoms of the earth that he's going to bring against us. Go ahead.
And will rend the cowl of their heart, and there will I devour them like a lion. The wild beasts shall tear them. O Israel, you have destroyed yourself, but in me is your help. I will be your king. Where is any other that may save you in all your cities? And your judges of whom you said it, give me a king and princes.
Now, we didn't understand that we were being disrespectful when we asked for a king. Listen, go ahead.
I gave you a king in mine anger, and took him away in my wrath.
Wait a minute. Israel decided that they wanted a king because they wanted to be like all the other nations. The same thing that we do. We have understanding of this word, then go amongst the heathen, and all our thoughts, wishes, and desires change once we get around them. Every bit of the focus that we had is gone once we get around them. He said, you desired a king, I was your king. So the king that he gave them was a king in his anger. And he was a horrible king. But we wanted what we saw everybody else have. Let's go to Revelation chapter 13. Now I want you to remember this part in verse 8. It says in Hosea, I will meet them as a bear that is bereaved of her whelps. I will rend the call of their heart, and now I will devour them like a lion. A wild beast shall tear them. Verse 7 says, therefore I will be unto them as a lion, as a leopard, by the way will I observe them. All right, so now let's go to Revelation chapter 13 and read verses 1 through 10.
Verse 1. And I stood upon the sand of the sea, and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his heads the name of blasphemy.
All right, these beasts coming out of the sea, these are the nations. Remember, these nations were spread out in the waters. It was all one landmass. He spread those out and separated them. Those beasts coming out of the sea, these are the nations. Go ahead.
And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet were as the feet of a bear, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion. And the dragon gave him his power and his seat and great authority.
All right, this was already told to us. See, we didn't understand that when he was talking about this, that he was talking about these nations. When you talk about this leopard, it talks about Alexander the Great conquered the earth faster than anybody else. You talking about this bear, you talking about the Medo-Persia Empire. Understand, this is all Babylon coming against us. And it already told us. But we didn't understand what he was saying. Go ahead.
And I saw one of his heads as it were wounded to death, and his deadly wounds was healed, and all the world wondered after the beast.
That so-called Holy Roman Empire was just regathered in another way. Go ahead.
And they worshipped the dragon which gave power unto the beast. And they worshipped the beast, saying, Who is like unto the beast? Who is able to make war with him? And there was given unto him a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies. And power was given unto him to continue 42 months.
Who is able to make war with this beast? Look, they having meetings right now condemning the actions that are happening in what's supposed to be the Holy Land. Ain't but 2 or 3 nations stood up to say, we won't vote against this resolution. Hey, she's being isolated on her own. And there's still fear. Who is able to make war with her? But all them people getting together. Go ahead.
And he opened his mouth in blasphemy against Elohim, to blaspheme his name and his tabernacle and them that dwell in heaven.
You know, it's one thing to go to war because of your own country has been dealt with. It's something altogether different to go to war because some imposters are out killing people, claiming to be something, and then that draws and turns around and creates a world war. It's one thing to get into an all-out brawl because of what happened in your family. It's something altogether different to be brawling for what happened to somebody down the street. Go ahead.
And it was given unto him to make war with the saints and to overcome them. And power was given him over all kindreds and tongues and nations.
Wait a minute. It was given unto him to make war with the saints. Wait a minute. So when we out hanging with Lucifer's people, you got to understand, Lucifer going to treat you the most harsh when it comes down because he know you're not one of them. But we go amongst them. We want to dress like them. We want to act like them. We want to talk like them. But Lucifer know you ain't one of them. And I'm going to show you ain't one of them. Go ahead.
And all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him, whose names are not written in the book of the life of the Lamb, slain from the foundation of the world. If any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leads into captivity shall go into captivity. He that kills with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints.
Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. That we know that whatever a man has planted in the earth, that's what's going to grow out of it. Whatever you have, when they're talking about sowing and reaping, understand, it's going to come out of the earth. You're going to get that. You put forth into captivity, you going into captivity. That's the patience of the saints because we know we're going to get vindicated when it all comes down to it. But you got to persevere to be standing there when the vindication comes. Let's go to Romans chapter 2. It's not just going to come to us because we say, oh, we natural Israel. You got folks that been talking and dealing with that same thing for 20 years. We Israel. We Israel. You watch one of their classes from 1996. We Israel. Watch one that was put out yesterday. We Israel. How long we going to talk about this? We got to do something better than that. Even when we get a job, the first thing we do is go in there, well, how did this position open up? Oh, y'all fired the last guy. Interesting. How did he get fired? Is that not your common thought? Because, hey, duh, I need to make sure I don't get fired. So I need to find out what was he doing so I can make sure I don't do that. Okay. It's important for us to understand, all right, how we got kicked out the land. So we make sure we don't do that again. Go ahead.
Behold, you are called a Yehudim, and resteth in the law, and make your boast of Elohim, and knoweth his will, and approveth the things that are more excellent, being instructed out of the law.
The children of Israel are instructed out of the law. Go ahead.
And are confident that you yourself are a guide of the blind, a light of them which are in darkness, an instructor of the foolish, a teacher of babes, which has the form of knowledge and of the truth in the law. You therefore which teachest another, teach you not yourself. You that preachest that man should not steal, does you steal? You that saith a man should not commit adultery, does you commit adultery?
Right. Well, so while we out telling people that we know Yahweh and we doing all of these things, hold on. Are you then committing the very thing that you sitting here talking and teaching these people about? So what kind of hypocrisy are you standing in? But you feel okay to do it because you're amongst heathen and because all of them are committing adultery. Go ahead.
You that abhor idols, do you commit sacrilege? You that maketh your boast of the law, through breaking the law, dishonoreth you Elohim?
You dishonoreth your Elohim by breaking the very law that you were taught to walk in. And then walking amongst those people. So now he is getting blasphemed. Keep reading.
For the name of Elohim is blasphemed among the Gentiles through you, as it is written.
Because they won't be like you. The Gentiles watching you. Now they done picked up all your ways. This is why them Gentile parents were scared. Oh man, here come those people. Why? Because they know their kids gonna try to be like us. I remember a time when you saw a car with big wheels and music and you said, man, here come one of these brothers down the street. Now the wheels be so big, you hear the music a mile and a half away, you look up, it's a white boy. What happened? No, they start mimicking. You look, you see somebody with their pants hanging down. No. They mimicking. Everywhere they want to be like you. Except you. Everybody want to be you except you. Europeans want to be you. People all over the world keep talking about the black American. Everybody want to be you. Except you. Go ahead, Pri.
For circumcision verily profits, if you keep the law. But if you be a breaker of the law, your circumcision is made uncircumcision. Therefore, if the uncircumcision keeps the righteousness of the law, shall not his uncircumcision be counted for circumcision? And shall not uncircumcision, which is by nature, if it fulfill the law, judge you, who by the letter and circumcision does transgress the law? For he is not a Yehudim, which is one outwardly, neither is that circumcision which is outward in the flesh. But he is a Yehudim, which is one inwardly, and circumcision is that of the heart, in the spirit and not in the letter, whose praise is not of men, but of Elohim.
Right. So if we have a circumcised heart, then are we true Israel. So we can stop listening, dealing with all of these people and their little twisted tribal charts and all of this crap. That don't make you Israel. I get so sick of seeing that old twisted chart, I don't know what to do. And the chart don't make no sense at all. You break this down into this word, and that's the dumbest chart that was ever made by man. But they want to stick to it because they got it from their elder, and they got it from somebody else. So they've been passing around this twisted chart for a generation. And it was wrong the day it was made. And now it's 50, 60 years wrong. Let's go back to Hosea chapter 4. So Yahweh is truly putting a number on us because here it is. We were given all of these instructions on how to deal in this land. But then amongst our punishment, he says, I'm going to provoke you with another nation. Now those nations can go in the land and not follow any of his rules. Now you can't get no more punishment than that. That you get punished for not following the rules, and then he lets somebody come in and then they don't follow any of them. Oh, no. He's letting us know how angry he was at us. No. I'm going to let you see them living in your house, but not paying any bill. Now, I kicked you out for not paying the bills, but I'm going to let them live in there without paying any bill because you're going to learn. If that don't provoke you to jealousy, I don't know what will. Hosea chapter 4, and let's read verses 1 through 14.
Hear the word of Yahweh, you children of Israel. For Yahweh has a controversy with the inhabitants of the land, because there is no truth, nor mercy, nor knowledge of Elohim in the land.
In the land. So, when Yahweh does allow us to walk back in our land, understand we got a job to do. You can't just walk it down, all right, we're going to operate just like we operated in Babylon. No, you ain't. You're going to get kicked out of there. No, you're not. You're going to walk in and execute truth and judgment is what you're going to do. Because see, the adversary is slick. He will take a concept that you have the right to legally do, but cause you to deal with the legal thing in an unlawful way. Now he got you. Because now people are always looking in the book, well, I got the right to do this. Yeah, but you're lying while you're doing it. No, he got you. You all in Lucifer's crawl, Jack. Go ahead.
You know, brother, I was talking to some of the brothers before class, and like you said, the right of executing judgment, that falls on this congregation so heavily that we don't even understand, because we're going through the same thing of what you were talking about a couple minutes ago about, you know, these other places keep teaching we Israel, we Israel, we Israel. They're not being taught to execute judgment. We're constantly being taught that. Like Elder said, I teach priests. So it's funny that we get here, I just had that conversation. We have a weight on us that when we get into this land, we have been taught about executing judgment, and we're going to have to stand by it.
Right. So you have a whole bunch of people just standing there holding hands, singing Kumbaya. Oh, we in the land. Oh, how blessed it is. Oh, we in the Holy Land. And then somebody else going to come off the top rope with that sword. Wow, get that out over here. So, man, what's wrong with this dude? Hey, you want to stay here, right? Well, get that out of here. This got to go. And if we don't take care of that business, we won't be there long. Go ahead.
By swearing and lying and killing and stealing.
Swearing and lying. See, we don't think nothing wrong with lying. What happened? How do we get okay with it? Because we hang around the people of the nations and all they do is lie. Go ahead.
And committing adultery. They break out and blood touches blood.
Blood touches blood. By swearing and lying and killing and stealing and committing adultery. So once we got to do something in the dark, you done did all that. You swearing and lying, killing and stealing. Go ahead.
Therefore shall the land mourn.
Wait a minute. Wait. Not your house. The land. See, it says when a land is defiled, the only way to make atonement for the land is by shedding the blood of him that defiled it. Go ahead.
And everyone that dwells therein shall languish with the beasts of the field and with the fowls of heaven. Yea, the fishes of the sea also shall be taken away.
Poor fish, I ain't had nothing to do with this. No, everything gonna deal with this punishment. Go ahead.
Yet let not no man strive nor reprove another, for your people are as they that strive with the priests.
Right, because they don't want to hear when that sentence is given unto them, hey, you sitting in here lying, you need to go home and be honest with your house. then what do? People will go home and go ahead and finally stop lying to their house and then attack the priest because he made you go home and stop lying to them people. Then spend absolutely nothing but all their energy to strive with the priest. When all the priests say, hey man, look here, you can't be walking up in here and no lie. You need to go home and tell these people what it is you're doing. You can't do this up in here. Go ahead, priest.
Therefore shall you fall in the day, and the prophet also shall fall with you in the night, and I'll destroy your mother. My people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge, because you have rejected knowledge. I will also reject you, that you shall be no priest to me. Seeing you have forgotten the law of your Elohim, I will also forget your children.
Seeing you have forgotten the law of your Elohim, how did you forget it? Oh, because you've been spending all your chief time with the heathen. It says that the king must make him a copy out of the law and read it in all the days of his life, that he be not magnified. What happened? He has a lot of things that is available unto him. He has power, he has money, he has influence. He need to read the law of his Elohim daily so that his heart don't get exalted and lifted up because of all of the things that he had. See, we don't understand. Sometimes the more we get, the more we should go back and get in our book. Wow, wait a minute, I just got something. I just got something else. What happened, man? I got to keep my heart from being lifted up. I need to go read something that's going to get me to calm my heart down. See, my heart getting exalted. I just said, you know what? Damn it, I'm smashing. Wait a minute. Oh, hell, I'm tripping. I need to go read something. I'm tripping. You got to have some of them self-checks. When your vanity take off and your vanity get in the front seat, so you know what? You get in the back. I'm a drive. Just let vanity get the wheel. All right, it's time. You got to go read something. Because your heart is starting to get exalted. Don't wait till that get out of hand. No. I need to go. I feel something here. Something ain't right. I'm starting to feel me. Go ahead.
As they were increased, so they sinned against me.
Ain't that the whole thing that keeps being said? As they were increased, the further they got away from me. The more he gives us what we pray and ask for, the further we get from him. Sometimes Yahweh got to take the Corolla. And then you look at how long we here. See, we got the Corolla, we come in quick, you know. Once the second plate come around, all right, we out after that. But you know when that Corolla don't work, you know we got to wait for that ride. Yahweh making sure, no, your ride ain't leaving at 10:30. I'm talking about, your ride going to be here all day. Wait a minute, now all of a sudden, he like, so you can stay here all day. That's interesting. Oh. And after he go ahead and make that point, then he give you the Corolla back. All right, okay. All right. Okay. All right. Message pick up. Bing. Go ahead, read, bro.
Therefore will I change their glory into shame. They eat up the sin of my people, and they set their heart in their lawlessness. And there shall be, like people, like priests, and I'll punish them for their ways and reward them their doings. For they shall eat and not have enough. Mm-hmm. They shall commit whoredom and shall not increase, because they have let off to take heed to Yahweh.
When you don't take heed to Yahweh, it don't matter what it is you get out there. He gonna drill a hole in the bottom of your pocket, and everything you keep coming in and you keep stuffing your pocket, they gonna keep falling out the bottom. Go ahead.
Whoredom and wine and new wine take away the heart. My people ask counsel at their stocks, and their staff declares on to them. For the spirit of whoredoms has caused them to err, and they have gone a whoring from under their elm.
Right, but see, we understand the word, so we're not going to go and ask no stock, no piece of wood. No, what we're going to do is go ask the heathen out in the street. Hey, Free and Bobby, what you think I ought to do? Bobby worship the adversary of the devil. You ask the worshiper of the devil what you think you ought to do, what he think you ought to do. Right. You ask Counselor to stop. Go ahead.
They sacrifice upon the tops of the mountains and burn incense upon the hills, under oaks and poplars and elms, because the shadow thereof is good. Therefore your daughters shall commit whoredom, and your spouses shall commit adultery.
Right. Yahweh gonna show you what you've done to him. All right, so you turn your back on me? All right, let me show you what this feel like. Go ahead.
I will not punish your daughters when they commit whoredom.
Wait a minute. I'm gonna let your daughters commit whoredom and your spouses commit adultery. Wait a minute. That's what, then you turn your back on me and you left me? All right. So I want you to see her over there showing attention somewhere else. Oh, damn, that don't feel good. Go ahead.
Nor your spouses when they commit adultery.
Wait a minute. And when they commit adultery, I ain't gonna punish them. Okay, go ahead.
For themselves are separated with whores, and they sacrifice with harlots. Therefore the people that does not understand shall fall.
Let's go to Proverbs chapter 26. I tried to tell y'all that Yahweh in the point making business. And because he ain't gonna run out of time, he ain't in no hurry to stop you when you on there. No. He gonna sit back and watch the show. Oh, look at him sneaking in the grass like that. Look at him on his stomach, he just sneaking. Look at him. Oh man, look at his old, and he waited till it was really dark. Hey y'all, shh, don't wake him up. Don't let him know. Keep on watching. I want to see how far he gonna go with this. Right. Proverbs 26, let's read verses 1 through 12.
As snow in summer, and as rain in harvest, so honor is not seemly for a fool. As the bird by wandering, as the swallow by flying, so the curse causeless shall not come.
The curse did not come without a cause. See, that's the purpose of the writings that he sends the people, hey, go speak my words. Why? Why do you want me to say these things to them? Because the curse coming right after you talk. That's why I need you to go and say what I'm telling you to go say. Yeah, it's going to hurt their feelings. Yeah, they're going to fight against you. Yeah. But I got something that's coming behind that, so I need you to go and do what I told you to do. Go ahead.
A whip for the horse, a bridle for the ass, and a rod for the fool's back. Answer not a fool according to his folly, lest you also be like unto him. Answer a fool according to his folly, lest he be wise in his own conceit.
Right. You deal with them when they do something, but you don't deal with them like they did it. Meaning, you ain't going to jump on top of the counter and act a fool and get yourself locked up. But you're going to answer that. Go ahead.
He that sends a message by the hand of a fool cuts off the feet and drinks damage. The legs of the lame are not equal, so is a parable in the mouth of fools.
And that's what we become as we go out and talk to other people about this word, but then we ain't walking in it. Your parable ain't even sounding right no more. Why? Because you ain't walking in it. How you going to talk in something that you don't walk in? Yeah, I extol you by the word which Paul preaches. You mean you don't even preach it? Go ahead.
As he that binds a stone in a sling, so is he that gives honor to a fool. As a thorn goes up into the hand of a drunkard, so is a parable in the mouth of fools. The great Elohim that formed all things both rewards the fool and rewards transgressors. As a dog returns to his vomit, so a fool returns to his folly.
So a person then who was educated in the word, who was taught in the word, who had a foundation in the word, then got whatever it was that they prayed for, returned to their folly, is then likened unto a dog who vomits his own food and then go back and eat the vomit. Go ahead.
Seeth you a man wise in his own conceit? there's more hope for a fool than of him.
All right, now let us hear the conclusion of this matter. Let's go to Revelation chapter 2. Revelation chapter 2, and we're going to read verses 1 through 7.
On to the angel of the church of Ephesus write, these things says he that holds the 7 stars in his right hand, who walks in the midst of the 7 golden candlesticks.
Walks in the midst of the 7 golden candlesticks. Go ahead.
I know your works and your labor and your patience, and how you cannot bear them which are evil. And you have tried them which say they are apostles and are not, and have found them liars.
They say they are apostles. Why are they not? Oh, they ain't walking in it. I mean, they understand some things. They knew some things. They used to know some things. They used to walk in some things, but they ain't no apostles now. Go ahead.
And have borne and have patience, and for my name's sake has labored and have not fainted. Nevertheless, I have somewhat against you.
Nevertheless, I got a problem with you though. You got all these things, you know all these things, but I got a problem though. Go ahead.
Because you have left your first love.
Wait a minute. You left your first love. See, we forgot what is the definition when Yeshua goes into even adultery? What does he say? He that leaves his wife and go marries another commits adultery. What happened? He left the first love. He left the first love to get another one. Okay, here we got this word. We had no understanding. We come in, we get the word. Yahweh give us a few dollars. What happened? We leave the word so we can go and deal in the money. What happened? You walked away from your first love. He said, you forgot all them things that you were saying to me in the wilderness. You forgot all that? Just because you got a few dollars? You think that's something? Your daddy rich. And you think this little change you got is something? You got a daddy that's loaded. And this little change that done fell out in the couch done changed your life. You got couch change. And if you can't abide with couch change, what you gonna do when the inheritance is passed out? Go ahead, Pri.
You know, Elder, you said it says you left your first love to go seek another. And all because you couldn't figure out how to balance both in righteousness and keep both.
You can't balance both in righteousness and keep both if you're hanging out with the heathen. You can't balance that because you trying to deal with them separately. Mm-hmm. You know, you have to think about how even disrespectful it is to deal, in both hands of something. All right? You have, we do this not knowing it. If we are walking in the culture and you walking with your woman is dressed in culture, she is looking, she looking smashing. But then that hoe come down the street and she ain't got no clothes on. And then you pay attention to that hoe. You know what you just did to this sister in the word? Who have changed her entire life to be with you? Do you understand what you just did? Go ahead, Pri.
Remember, therefore, from whence you art fallen, and repent and do the first works.
Do the first works. You even remember what the first works were? What were you doing before you got the Corolla? That's the first works. See, sometimes we don't turn our back so far, we don't forget what those were. Go ahead.
Or else I will come on to you quickly and will remove your candlestick out of his place.
Wait a minute. If he removed the candlestick, understand, from the candle is where the oil is. The oil represents the spirit of Yahweh. If he takes away your candlestick, he takes away your spirit. Go ahead.
Except you repent. But this you have, that you hated the deeds of the Nicolaitans, which I also hate. He that has an ear, let him hear what the Spirit says unto the churches. To him that overcomes will I give to eat of the tree of life, which is in the midst of the paradise of Elohim.
Right, but we have to persevere to make it to paradise. All of these things that we are just giving up our life for, they are but nothing. The things that Elohim has in store for us, and we dying over this little couch change. We are forgetting our whole first love for some 9 later money. But when you don't know how rich your father is, you don't even know what you're walking away from. Yahweh has great things for us, but those great things also come with great responsibility. And he who has not been faithful in that which is own, how shall he be faithful in that which belongs to another man? So whether we know it or not, you in practice, you in training. And how you deal with what you got now is what determines what you'll have after. That's all that we're going to do for today. Remember the Sabbath to keep it holy, and Yah's will, we will do trivia about 5:15. All right. Shalom.
Shalom.